Hey there, greetings. Good morning, everybody. Want to welcome you all here to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph, and I am the host of this show. We're here today to do an episode of this series we are running for the month of July, which is 31 bands that have a connection or are related in some way. So the main band or the centerpiece band for this episode is going to be Judas Priest. One of the premier heavy metal bands of all time. I call them one of the big three, along with Sabbath and Iron Maiden. Definitely one of the first metal bands to really become known as a metal band. And so we're going to be talking about the bands that also are connected to this. I do apologize. This video I had made yesterday, but it was corrupt and it actually didn't even get uploaded properly. So I didn't realize it till this morning when I went to see how it was doing, and it wasn't even there. Went back and found out that it was in the setup mode but didn't go up. I don't know why. Anyways, it was corrupt, so I just re-recording it now. And the bands that are connected to this. So normally I said they had to be fairly well-known bands and had to have some kind of a record thing in order to get mentioned. But in this case, there was a couple of bands that had been the home of a couple of the main members of Judas Priest. So I figured that I would mention them. So the first one of those bands is Hiroshima. This is a heavy metal band that both Hinch and Halford came from. Halford being one of the main players in Judas Priest, you had to at least give an acknowledgement to the band for that. The other one was the Flying Hat Band, where Glenn Tipton came from. I consider Tipton and Halford to be the main two cogs of Judas Priest's success and run over their history. Nothing against Ian Hill and KK Downing, but I think that they were the main players as far as the music and stuff went. Next up is a band called Trapeze. This brought on Dave Holland, well-known band Trapeze. Brought Dave Holland, and he was the first kind of drummer that played with the band for a length of time up until him. Most of the drummers had played on either a single album or in a couple of cases with Les Binks, he played on 3 albums. So definitely Dave Holland was a big member of the band, joining them, I believe, right around the time of, I can't remember, I think he was on British Steel. I think that's where he made his entrance. If I'm wrong, somebody will let me know. The next guy up was Scott Travis, who came on from Razor's X and became the drummer that replaced Dave Holland. And I think, as far as I know, he's been the only drummer since then. So he's been there longer than all the other drummers combined. And so you had to give him, some talk about Razor's X. The other band I threw in here because Ripper Owens was on them for 2 albums, and for a while there he was the main cog for their vocals, and he came from a band called Winterbane. So those are the bands that are related or connected to Judas Priest: Hiroshima, the Flying Hat Band, Trapeze, Winterbane, and Razor's X. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please hit the like and subscribe. If you want to make any comments about Judas Priest or any of the bands I've said, you can do that in the comment section below. Or if you just want to bring up your own band, you can do that as well. Anyways, take care and have yourself a good evening, and goodbye here from the Prog Monster.